Hi, Chuck Hawley from West Marine. You know, when you go out to sea and you want to be able to stay in touch with people on shore, and especially if you want to send an emergency message, there are a variety of methods that you can use. We like to separate the world into two halves, PLBs and EPIRBs, which are really great for offshore sailing and powerboat use. And on the other hand, we like to look at satellite messaging devices. Now, these are sometimes called SEND devices or satellite emergency notification devices, but frankly, that's a new category that hasn't exactly existed before. So we'll just call them satellite messaging devices. Now, we think if you're going offshore, you want a PLB or EPIRB, but if you want a broader range of characteristics, you might consider something like this little spot device or maybe the DeLorme InReach. Let's look at some of the features to look for in these products. One of the first is whether the device allows you to have two-way communications. In many cases, you'll want to be able to send a text message, but not only that, you'll want to get an answer back. So if that's important to you, ask whether it has two-way messaging capability. The second feature is whether you want one that has custom messages. Now, most of these devices allow you to enter in a website messages that you send on a regular basis. In some cases, 3 messages, in other cases, 10 messages. And you can actually choose what the message says to your recipient. But in other cases, you can link the devices to an iPhone or Android phone so that you can actually tap in an SMS message and send it through the satellite device up to the satellites and to whomever is receiving it, and vice versa, from that person back to you. So ask yourself if you want to be able to type in custom text messages or whether you want to have pre-formatted messages. The third thing we look for is the area of coverage. Some of these devices use a constellation of satellites that works virtually worldwide. In fact, it does work worldwide. In other cases, the satellite network are intended to work on continental areas and coastal waters. So, if you're going between California and Hawaii, you might want to look for something that has worldwide capabilities. But if you're just a coastal boater and you're going up and down the intercoastal waterway, you might be perfectly satisfied with one that has coastal and continental coverage. And finally, we like to look for devices that have a variety of pricing schemes for their use. All of these require a subscription service. So that means that either on an annual or on a monthly basis, you have to pay for the right to have access to the satellites. Now, if you're a real busy user, you can buy a bigger plan so the cost per message is less. If you're somebody that only expects to use this very rarely, you can get a smaller plan where the cost per message is more, but you don't have that many messages. So you may find it's handy to pick a messaging plan that works for you. We have a great excitement over this whole new category of product, and we hope that you do too. But if you have questions, you can talk to any associate in any of our 300 stores across the country, or look at our West Advisor or our selection advice at westmarine.com.